All big changes start with a swift kick in the ass. Join the journey of lifelong friends, John Curran and Tom Stewart, as they make conventional thought bend over and take...
Life is challenging and difficult. No one gets out alive. Time to suck it up, Buttercup. Get ready for a monster-sized boot aimed to help you get traction on personal change and get living. I am John Curran, your host. Join me as I share my journey, exploring the forces that motivate us to change and help us get through whatever life throws at us. A swift kick in the ass. Life on your terms. Welcome to another episode of A Swift Kick in the Ass. This is your host, John Curran. Today's episode, the importance of showing up. Okay, fellow ass-kick-ins. I recognize that I really have not shown up for you. I've been showing up for myself lately. I have to say that instead of pursuing external outlets for my creativity, I have been looking inward. So, what does that mean? It means I've started meditating. I do that on a daily basis now, when I wake up, and sometimes before I go to bed, sometimes throughout the day. What I'm finding is that as I do that, as I meditate, I become much more myself. And as you know, I've been grieving Tom's death. And this show has been tough to do. But I continue to do it because I think it's important. But I am at a crossroads right now because Facebook is censoring me and censoring the name. Now, they've never really liked the name A Swift Kick in the Ass. They would not let us advertise. And quite honestly, we don't have a lot of followers on Facebook. We have a lot of listeners worldwide to our podcast, but not a lot of you are followers on Facebook. And that's fine. So I'm not really sure what we're losing, but I don't like that we're being censored. And after nearly 8 years, they're saying I need to change the name. With that being said, it does prompt the question that's been on my mind about the future of A Swift Kick in the Ass podcast. Tom and I started doing the podcast as a way of journaling our life, really. We had been lifelong friends, since we were kids. And we also got the opportunity, great opportunity, to document Tom's illness and the process of his death, really, in which he found life. I mean, he had life before, but even though he was given a terminal diagnosis, he didn't lose his life until the very end when it was taken. He held on to it as long as he possibly could. And that is a kick in the ass for me, for the show, for his family, for many, many people who knew Tom. So I'm at a crossroads about what to do with this show. The podcast will be called ASKITA Podcast on Facebook. I don't think that will matter to many of you because you're not listeners. I mean, you're listeners, but you're not on Facebook. So I'm not sure if this will impact you, but if you are a listener of the show, I thank you. I have loved being on this podcast for the last 8 years, and I still believe in positive change and creating positive change. So I will leave you with something I've learned. If you want to create positive change in your life and get traction, the best way to do it is really just to do it. To just start bringing that element into your life a little bit at a time. Even if it's 1 minute a day, start with 1 minute. Grow to 2, go to 3. I don't think it's that small of increments. I think you actually will it will grow exponentially. Once you learn this trick, it becomes easy to implement change in your life. So I'll give the example of a guitar player. If you want to learn guitar and be an excellent guitar player, you have to play guitar. Well, I don't know. It's hard. Well, tough. That's the kick in the ass. Sometimes you just have to embrace the suck and move through the obstacle by learning something. So start incorporating it in your life. Sit down at least a minute every day and play. Doesn't have to be at a set time. Probably is good if you do that, but it doesn't have to be at any set time. You could set up some other type of trigger that you would like. If you have an existing habit, it's always good to try to add on there and make that your trigger to say, okay, let's see, whenever I enter this room and I see my guitar, I'm going to pick it up. Something like that. And then reward yourself. But make it a daily practice. And before when you first start out, you're just playing for a few minutes. But every day as you continue, it will build more and more and more. And then before you know it, you're really playing. And I think so many things in life are exactly like that. You just have to do it. I'm meditating every day. I get up in the morning and I meditate. And even when I feel good, I try to meditate. I don't do it all the time. I'm not 100%. But I do meditate every day, at least once. I try to do it immediately when I wake up, but sometimes it's later in the day. But I always do it every day. And what I find is that even when I feel good, I feel better when I meditate. I learn something through the process. And when I feel bad, I always feel better when I do it. So I keep going back for more and more. And it's very much a habit for me right now. I don't see it going anywhere. Since I've learned this, I want to learn more. So I'm going to keep doing it. Daily practice. It's key. Now, my band director, when I was in high school, used to say, perfect patience. Or no, I'm sorry. He used to say, practice makes perfect. That's what most people say. Practice makes perfect. But my band director said it a little bit differently. He said, perfect practice makes perfect. And what he means is that you have to practice perfectly if you want perfect results. Practice perfectly. And that means that you have to practice. And that's the first step. First, you have to do it. But that's not enough. You have to repeatedly do it, day in and day out. And after a year, you could consider that part of your life. In any case, I'll keep this short. I don't want to just ramble. Even though it's kind of fun for me to do, it's probably painful for you. Please reach out to me at john@aswiftkickintheass.com. If you have any great stories, it doesn't have to be a kick in your ass. If you have a great story that you want to share, email me. I'd like to hear it. I'm not saying I'll put it on the show, but I'm going to probably launch something else, another podcast. I just really enjoy doing it. It's a great creative outlet, and I love sharing my story. But I just love stories, and I want to hear yours. And I know that you have some doozies to tell. So send me your stories. I want to hear about it. John at a Swift Kick in the Ass. You can also go to aswiftkickintheass.com. You can leave a voicemail message there. And I think you can also send me a contact or something like that. In any case, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I think I will be planning something to celebrate Tom's life at the year of his anniversary. And then maybe I'll shut down after that. But for the time being, I think I just want to keep going on this journey, and I want to make sure that we shut down properly. So I'd love to hear about that and how you feel about that too. Just let me know. In any case, I hope life is treating you well, and I hope you're kicking ass, and I hope you got something out of this episode. So keep kicking ass. Peace. Until next time, this is John. This is a Swift Kick in the Ass. Later. This marks the end of another episode of a Swift Kick in the Ass, placing it directly in the can. As much as I like to talk, even I have my limits. It's time to go. Catch me on the next show. For better or worse, whether you like us or not, please leave comments wherever you get your podcasts. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Visit our home on the interweb. I think you can leave me a voicemail there. You can also email me at john@aswiftkickintheass.com. It's been my extreme pleasure. I hope you got a lot out of it. I hope you got your ass moving. Until then, until the next time, I'm out of here. Peace.